there's a lot of oil in there. So all of that oil vapor, that dirt, it's dirty oil too, is being recycled straight into your clean air intake line and then into the turbo and back into the engine. Perfect example of what the catch can will eliminate. Now, none of that oil can get into here anymore.
Hello and welcome to Grizzly and Bear Overland. This is just a short technical video that I didn't have time to include in our previous episode, but we thought it might interest some of our viewers.
My mission this morning is to be fitting a catch can, an oil separator kit, which is something I've thought about doing for a long time. So here it is here. Here's the catch can itself. Essentially, it's a filter. So it has a filter element in there that you've got to change out periodically. I think they recommend every 20,000 kilometers, something like that. What this thing is going to do is get installed here. That's the crankcase cover on there and a ventilation line. So that vents all the excess sort of oil vapors and bits and pieces straight back into the air intake line. And we don't want that, so we're going to bypass that. We'll go through the filter and then it'll end up going to the same place, but it'll come out of this cover here. All the oil vapors will go through this bad boy. I think it's into the bottom one if I looked at the picture correctly. Out of the top there after it passes through the filter and then back in to our air supply, oil contaminant free. So I've just installed the mounting bracket for the unit itself, for the catch can. I'm re-engineering this slightly because actually it's worked out a hell of a lot simpler than the instructions are telling me how to do it because we have a left-hand drive vehicle. There's not major differences, obviously same engine in the same version of a right-hand drive vehicle, same version of a Land Rover Defender, I should say. And the only difference mainly, of course, is the steering column. The steering aspect, everything steering components is on the left-hand side with ours. And the heater blower box is on that side. So the unit itself needs to be mounted on the side of the heater blower, which is right there. So in the right-hand drive vehicles, Australian and actually here where we are in South Africa, it's a bit of a mess. All the hoses, all the pipework needs to run across the top of the engine at the back there near the ECU and then over, and the catch can would be mounted there. So that has worked out very nicely in the left-hand drive vehicle. All I need to do is run the hoses short distance from there to there, so I won't need anywhere near the length of hose that's been provided. We can actually see it very clearly here in the diagram that comes with the installation instructions. That's the heater blower box on the right-hand side when you're standing at the front of the car. Obviously, when we look at ours, there it is over there on the left-hand side. So all of this pipework here, all of the 90-degree bends and everything, I don't need to use any of them. Mine's going to go directly straight to the top of the crankcase cover there from there. So that's going to actually, I believe, eventuate in a much more efficient system. Always think about putting these clamps on if I need to tighten or loosen them at a later date. What's going to be the easiest access? So you know how we've always got that oil all around the turbo, and this catch can is designed to take away all those oil vapors, because when the engine's running at the top of the crankcase, there's a whole heap of oil vapors that come up and they have to get rid of them rather than just blowing them into your engine bay. They push them back into the good airline that goes to your engine. So you end up getting dirty oil vapors back to your engine. This bypasses those vapors, puts them through a filtration system, and then sends the clean air instead back into the air intake system. Pretty cool. This is the crankcase cover, and here is all of the blow-by or the vented bypass line coming out, and we can do this. All this dirty oil is going straight back into the air intake system from there directly into our turbo. And I'd been noticing for a couple of years now a lot of oil always just seeping out around the turbo connections, and I did sort of know, I knew it was coming from there. So yeah, essentially this one should eliminate all of this oil that I'm seeing down in this air intake system directly to the engine, hopefully. just another filter to change. But it does have a drain line on the bottom as well. So these filters actually last a little bit longer than our regular services. Like I think I did mention before, every 20,000 kilometers I got one spare filter, so we should be good for a little while. So on the bottom of the drain is a little valve. Periodically we open up this little drain, probably when we do the services, and get any oil that's built up in the bottom of the catch can out of there.
Will the bonnet shut?
Yeah, it does just. I tested it before I started tightening everything up. I think it maybe just touches it. Yeah, it's all good. It's in, and it's definitely going to be way more efficient than if it was installed in a right-hand drive vehicle, because I only had to use one of the 90-degree bends, and I think they provide 5 or 6 90-degree bends. So you can imagine the less bends in a system like this, the better. So pretty happy. I'm just going to tighten it all up, make it look neat. Need to do the drain and then help Miss Frenchie on the seat box.
That's it for now. We will see you on Friday for another rebuild video. Until then, take care. Bye bye.